The Battle of Tukaroi, also known as the Battle of Bajhaura or the Battle of Mughulmari, was fought on March 3, 1575 near the village of Tukaroi, now in Balasore District of Odisha, situated between Midnapore and Jalesar, Odisha. This battle was between the Mughal Empire and the Sultanate of Bangala and Bihar. Background: Iqtihad and Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khilji of the Delhi Sultanate defeated the Sena king Laxman Sen at his capital, Nabadwip, in 1203–1204 and conquered most of Bengal. The Deva family, the last Hindu dynasty to rule in Bengal, ruled briefly in East Bengal, although they were suppressed by the mid-14th century. During the early Muslim period, the former Sena Hindu kingdom became known as the Sultanate of Bangala and Bihar, ruled intermittently from the Sultanate of Delhi. The chaotic shifts in power between the Afghan and Turkish rulers of that sultanate came to an end when Mughal rule became established in Bengal. During the 16th century, during the reign of Mughal Emperor Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, the Sultan of Bangala was Daud Khan Karani, who had seized the Fort Zamania, a frontier post of the Mughal Empire. This gave Akbar the cause for war. Akbar, who was in Gujarat when he received the news of Daud's audacity, at once dispatched orders to Munim Khan and the representative of the imperial power in Jaunpur to chastise the aggressor. Munim, on receipt of his sovereign's instructions, assembled a powerful force and marched on Patna, where he was opposed by Lodi Khan, an influential Afghan chief who had placed Daud on the throne and now served that prince as minister. Munim Khan, who was then very old, had lost his energy and after some skirmishing was content to cease hostilities and grant Daud extremely lenient terms. Neither of the principal parties was pleased, and Emperor Akbar thought that the Munim Khan had been too easygoing, whereas Daud was jealous of his minister Lodi Khan. The emperor accordingly deputed Raja Todamal to take the command in Bihar, making over the Raja's civil duties as Devan temporarily to Ray Ramdas. Daud treacherously killed his minister Lodi Khan and confiscated his property. Munim Khan, stung by his master's censure, returned rapidly to Patna and laid siege to the city. But he soon found the task of taking it to be beyond his powers and begged Mughal Emperor Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar to come in person and assume charge of the campaign. Akbar, who had just returned to the capital after paying his annual visit to Ajmer, proceeded to Agra in March 1574 and prepared a fleet of elaborately equipped boats to proceed down the rivers. On June 15, 1574, Akbar embarked for the river voyage and was accompanied by many of his best officers, Hindu and Muslim. The names of 19 given by Abul Fazl ibn Mubarak include Bhagwan Das, Raja Mansingh, Raja Birbal, Shahbaz Khan and Qasim Khan, the Admiral or Mirbar. The rainy season being then at its height, the voyage was necessarily adventurous and many mishaps occurred. Several vessels foundered off Etawah and 11 off Allahabad. After traveling for 26 days, Akbar reached Benares, where he halted for 3 days. He then proceeded and anchored near where the Gomti River joins the Ganges River. On the same day, the army which had marched by land arrived. The whole movement evidently had been thought out and executed with consummate skill in the face of tremendous difficulties due to the weather. The ladies and children were sent to Jaunpur, and Akbar, in response to urgent entreaties from Munim Khan that he would be pleased to come in person, with all speed to the front, advanced to the famous ferry at Chaunza, where his father, Emperor Humayun, had suffered a severe defeat in 1539. The army was then brought across to the southern bank of the river. Siege of Patna. Patna had been under siege for several months now under Munim Khan. Akbar continued his journey by water and on August 3, 1574 landed in the neighborhood of Patna. After taking counsel with his officers and ascertaining that the besieged city relied for the greater part of its supplies on the town of Harjipa, situated on the opposite or northern bank of the Ganges, he decided that the capture of that place was a necessary preliminary to the successful accomplishment of the main design. The difficulties caused by the flooded state of the huge river many miles in width at that season and the strenuous resistance of a strongly posted garrison were overcome, and the fort was captured by the gallantry of the detachment appointed by Akbar to the duty. The heads of the Afghan leaders killed were thrown into a boat and brought to Akbar, who forwarded them to Daud as a hint of the fate which awaited, and in due course befell him. The same day Akbar ascended the Panj Pahari or Five Hills, a group of extremely ancient artificial mounds standing about half a mile to the south of the city, and thence reconnoitred the position. Daud, although he still had at his disposal 20,000 horses, a large park of artillery and many elephants, came to the conclusion that he could not resist the imperial power and decided on flight. During the night he slipped out quietly by a back gate and went to Bengal. The garrison, which attempted to escape in the darkness, suffered heavy losses in the process. Akbar was eager to start at once, but was persuaded to wait until the morning, when he entered Patna by the Delhi gate. He then personally pursued the fugitives for about 50 miles but failed to overtake them. An enormous amount of booty, including 265 elephants, was taken, and the common people enjoyed themselves picking up purses of gold and articles of armor in the streams and on the banks. He had reckoned on Akbar following the good old Indian custom of waiting until the Dasahara festival in October to begin a campaign. But Akbar disregarded adverse weather conditions and so was able to win victories in defiance of the Shastras and the seasons. Akbar returns to Fatehpur Sikri. The question now came up for decision whether the campaign should be prosecuted notwithstanding the rains or postponed until the cold season. Opinions were divided, but Akbar had no hesitation in deciding that delay could not be permitted. Accordingly, he organized an additional army of more than 20,000 men, entrusting the supreme command to old Munim Khan, who was appointed governor of Bengal. Raja Todamal and other capable officers were placed under his orders. Jaunpur, Benares, Chunar and certain other territories were brought under the direct administration of the crown, and officers were appointed to govern him on behalf of Akbar. He resolved to return to his capital, leaving the Bengal campaign to be conducted by his generals. Late in September, while he was encamped at Kanpur in the Jaunpur district, he received dispatches announcing the success of Munim Khan. The emperor arrived at Fatehpur Sikri on January 18, 1575, after 7 months of strenuous travelling and campaigning. Battle. The Mughal army marched into the capital of Bengal, Tanda, and Daud withdrew to Odisha. The action was forced on Munim Khan, who was compelled to engage before he was ready. In the early stages of the conflicts, the Mughal commander received several severe wounds and victory seemed assured to the Bengal army. But later in the day, the fall of Daud's general Gujar Khan caused fortune to change sides and brought about the total defeat of Daud, who fled from the field. The battle led to the Treaty of Katik, in which Daud ceded the whole of Bengal and Bihar, retaining only Odisha. The treaty eventually failed after the death of Munim Khan, who died at the age of 80. Sultan Daud Khan took the opportunity and invaded Bengal. This would lead to the Battle of Rajmahal in 1576.